So I think when we look at, where all these buildings are being constructed globally, right? Where, where I live in, I'm based out of Singapore. We call it like rest of the world, Southeast Asia. That's going to be like, the biggest pie of like, where the Middle East, the Southeast Asia of the world, the Australia and New Zealand. These are like the Latin Americas, right? So these are like, we have identified that these are the, countries where there's going to be the most numbers of building that's going to be constructed for the next 2 to 3 decades, right? Likewise, for India and China, these are the fast growth economy that we're going to experience a lot of building and construction activities. So perhaps just to also kind of switch gear, right, and talk about like, the Matterport value proposition here, right? So the thing is this, we know that there are like 4 billion buildings, and this is like a 327 trillion worth of asset class in the world, right? So in terms of the property value. So, that is a huge, I would say, massive, market opportunity for everybody here. And we are talking about, the opportunity to also digitalize, 20 billions of spaces around the world. This is massive. And we are also understanding the fact that, the unrealized utilization and operating efficiency today stands at about $100 billion. So that means to say that with a digital twin solutions, we could probably be able to, realize some of these utilizations and operation efficiency. So just to quickly talk about Matterport, the company was founded in 2011, and we started off with like, a hardware company that is, research and develop this very cool infrared cameras, and then we start to scan very small spaces. But then we realized that, hey, there's an appetite to grow, and fundamentally, we know there's a way to improve people's life and interact with the physical world. So the mission here is something that is very bold, to make every space more valuable and accessible to everyone in this globally. So that being said, right, we talk about the number of construction, the building that is going to grow. Likewise, right, on the digital front, the same thing is happening today, right? So you see the digital adoption, digital twin, everything is growing in that digital world as well. So this is where, I wanted to also kind of share some statistics on the Matterport solutions today. So we have already created like, 44 billion of square feet managed spaces. So that is massive, right? So for those of you who love to play golf, you probably know that 18-hole golf course is about 20,000 square feet to 25,000 square feet. So if I were to break that down, 44 billion, right, that is almost 2.2 million golf courses. So that is how much Matterport has already created digital twin spaces globally. And of these 44 billion square feet that has been scanned and created, the digital twin that's been created, that equates to like 13 million spaces. And we have like over 1 million subscribers globally. So these are pretty impressive statistics, but we believe that, this is just the beginning, right? And there are a lot more opportunity to embark on this digital twin journey. So in terms of the technology adoption, right? So we could see from here, like US, America is the front runners, right? So the adoption of the 23 billion square feet that was scanned globally by the Matterport solutions. And then in EMEA, we have about 12 billion square feet of spaces that are scanned in Europe. And in Asia, this part of the world, that's 4.2 billion, right, square feet that we have scanned. So again, if you correlate back to the earlier slides that I've presented, right, you see that the high growth from the Asia Pacific, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Middle East, these are the few territories that we are seeing and experiencing a lot of high growth. So you could almost imagine like today is 4.2 billion. In 3 to 5 years time, we'll probably be reaching that 10 to 15 billion square feet of space that is already created with our digital twin solutions. So Matterport has started off like, scanning houses and building schematic data. That was, probably about 5 to 8 years back, or even 10 years back. That was like, the fundamental of the company. And then subsequently, we realized that, today what we could even do is to increase the value of every building by, creating a even more robust Matterport solutions for our customers. So in terms of some industrial statistics, right? And probably Mustafa, who is our guest today, he's going to be very familiar with some of these numbers. And I was just speaking to like a client last week, and I asked them like, out of that 10, 15, AEC workflow in the construction business, what are your pinpoint, right? And they pointed out like, three of them. First and foremost is productivity, and then quality, and as well as collaboration within the different teams that are managing all the different construction projects. And when I look at it, right, I can almost resonate like, by just showing this data point, like, a lot of companies in the business has created a lot of data, but 95% of them are unused. And at the same time, construction business are having a huge pain point because of, quality management, poor quality management that leads to a lot of rework, a lot of cost, delay in timeline. And then all this, one of the other root cause that we have gathered is that because of the poor communications between all the different project teams, as well as the different departments that is delivering the work. So these are the most common pain points that we have identified. And in terms of like, we talk about the type of different tasks within the whole construction workflow. There's a need to understand the fact that, when we look at the non-precision tasks, which comprises of almost 90 to 95%, and the precision task that consists of 5 to 10%, totally understand that measurement accuracy is important in the construction business, but that constitutes to probably less than 10% of the daily tasks that they are involved in. So just to kind of, give everyone a better understanding of the Matterport solution, right? So we are in a 3D reality capture LiDAR type of solutions. And we fit right in the middle of, the high precision that I mentioned, like the 5 to 10% task that is carried out in a construction workflow that requires, high density scan, which is on the right-hand side. And then obviously there are like, construction progress using 360-degree cameras, non-LiDAR solutions that provides only a visual representation or references in that sense. So Matterport fits right in the middle where, the ability to perform scan to platform, scan to CAD, scan to BIM with, E57 and other point cloud output. This helps to mitigate that very important 90% of the tasks that we call it like non-precision workflow, where we could help improve our customers' workflow. So the thing is this, right? I mentioned earlier on the Matterport solution itself, with that very precise and I would say like a very seamless workflow. We are able to create this as-built modeling for our clients, improve communication, and you could almost imagine like you have someone that is the project manager sitting in the office that is about 10 miles away or 20 miles away, and then the construction site is like at somewhere, and you need to do that kind of collaboration within that built space. So how do you actually increase your productivity by working through that whole single digital twin platform, right? Which I almost call it like a single source of truth. So Um, I think essentially, collaborating in real time, this is one of the biggest and compelling, I would say, use case by most of our clients, right? So the thing is that collaborating within the back office with the project managers and the vendors, or even the people that is carrying out the actual work on site, has always been the biggest challenge in the industry. So by having these Matterport solutions, right, essentially, you know, we are helping our customers to save time and money by having this very seamless capture workflow, helping them to document, collaborate, as well as to integrate some of this workflow. So the other topic that I wanted to kind of also mention to the audience here is around the ESG, right? So this is a hot topic, and we all know that, customers, a lot of even your clients will be looking at ESG, or, you have some ESG goal within your organization. So the thing is that with Matterport solutions, right, we are able to help our customers understand, like, by creating the number of digital twin and the numbers of view within the digital twin, the number of collaborations within that whole digital twin, what would that translate into in terms of the carbon footprint reduction? So what we have done for a lot of our clients is to also help them understand that, hey, you know what, instead of, you have 10 different project managers driving into the construction site and then back into the head office, or even like having someone to fly from like in Germany all the way down to the India site to do an inspection, those kind of things. You'll be probably saving a lot of carbon footprint by simply having a digital twin solutions to mitigate this type of like cost of traveling, time, as well as carbon emission. So the thing is this, right? What we are seeing, the 10 years from now, what is the trend going to be like, right? The whole entire digital build world is going to get bigger and bigger. There's going to be a lot more adoption in this area, and Matterport is also very committed in a sense that we are going to invest in our R&D, scaling up and extending our platform in a few ways, right? And also embarking on the next generation AI capabilities. So I think one of the key bottom line from a ESG value proposition is that, every single digital twin can help reduce the strain on the planet Earth and contribute to their ESG goals. So the digital world is here to stay. So I will not talk about this, but I think what is also very important is that the Matterport digital twin kind of like has this all the different use cases around the design, construct, and even commissioning and handing over, right? So we do see a lot of value that we have uncovered for our clients in this area in terms of as-built documentation, QA/QC progress, issuing of RFI coordinations, safety training for your team, and then subsequently, when you talk about when the building is fully constructed, you need to do a closeout documentation, a handover, digital documentation handover. Again, one of the use cases that came to us was around insurance, right? So it was not mentioned here, but insurance for that whole entire building is something that you could uncover for your client as well. So the thing is, for Matterport, we understood, like, all the different workflow within the whole construction progress, and therefore we have also partnered very closely with Autodesk Construction Cloud platform. So in a way that there is a seamless integration between the models that you have created using the digital twin solutions. You could easily ingest that into the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform. So maybe I'll just play a video to show that Autodesk Cloud Construction, how it's being done. Yeah, so as you can see from the video, this is a seamless integration between Autodesk and the Matterport digital twin platform. As well as the whole entire Revit, we have developed a Revit plugin, which means that you could easily also ingest your Matterport spaces directly into Revit workflow. Likewise, for BIM integration, so Matterport has this scan to BIM workflow, and these are also integrated to the Autodesk BIM 360 platform. So the thing is this, right? I wanted to kind of close off with, some of the AEC use cases from our client. And I know BIM is like one of the most important topic within this industry. And I guess, I wanted to just play this video of, one of our client who has benefited greatly from the Matterport BIM to workflow.
A little bit about the Wrigley building. It sits right on Michigan Avenue, right on the Chicago River. It is a historic landmark and a beacon within the city. It's 99 years old. We were asked to look at how, without infringing on the historic nature of the building, we could add new types of lighting. The best way that we could think of this was to scan the facade, particularly the courtyard. By using Matterport, we would be able to create a detailed scan of the building safely, and probably most importantly, very quickly. For this exterior, the Leica BLK 360 was used. Everything was shot from the ground or from a window. There's no cranes or anything really out of the ordinary, which gave us enough capture. I think it was for about 4 stories. You received a link to the scan and the matter pack, which provided us with the point cloud, but probably more importantly for us, the mesh model, which we could then quickly bring into Rhino and quickly begin to cut sections and understand the profiles of the terracotta and the highly detailed facade of the Wrigley building. With a Matterport and being able to scan, we can capture all that information that lets us create more sound design solutions that can be simulated with 3D models, enhanced by 3D models. But the backing of the data, the point clouds that are there, gives us a level of being sure that we've done the best job and are delivering the right solution.
All right, thank you, Nick. Yeah, so I think I will bring my sharing to a close, as I know that we still have quite a few other presenters that is lining up for this session. So Christine, over to you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark, for your presentation. Okay, so now we will play a video shared by Carl Ditto, Staff Sales Engineer of Matterport. He is currently on a business trip and will not be able to join us, but he has courteously sent us a video to share. So let me just share his video with everyone. Give me a second whilst I do this. Okay, here you go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle Ditto, and I'm one of our enterprise solutions engineers based in the United States. But I've been covering our team in the Asia Pacific region for the better part of a year now. I'm here today to give you all a quick roadmap update on our platform. While I won't have time to cover the entirety of it, I'd be happy to do any follow-ups if anyone's interested in a deeper dive. All right, let's get into it. So before I cover some of our upcoming releases, I wanted to quickly recap our most recent release back in February, which encompassed a big component of our new automated approach to managing properties using AI behind the scenes. That product suite was under the umbrella of property intelligence. So this is a public-facing press release that we launched during that time, which I'll use for the purpose of this recap here. But I'll also make sure that this link is distributed to you all so you can look at it yourself as well. Under the property intelligence umbrella, we are, again, leveraging the power of AI to automate certain tasks that were otherwise manual in nature. First and foremost, as you can see here, because our digital twins are dimensionally accurate, for about 10 years now, we've allowed our customers to use the measurement tool within the Matterport digital twin to get accurate measurements of the space without needing to physically go on site with a tape measure. Although with this newest release, that amount of manual work has now been automated by our AI engine behind the scenes. So as you can see here, the biggest update within our property intelligence solution is that you can now get full area calculations, so square meters. Apologies for the square footage on my screen right now, as well as the dimensions of each individual room within our property. So that data will be both available within our showcase player that you're seeing on my screen here, as well as in a downloadable CSV format that you can pull into other systems or listings, if you will. So with that, you'll now be able to pull automated floor plans, again, as well as being able to quickly be presented that data within the digital twin itself. Above and beyond the standard measurement capability that we've now automated, we're also allowing you to make customizations on the fly using our showcase capabilities. So in this example that you're seeing on my screen here, while we've accurately drawn the lines corresponding to a particular wall, you can now also adjust those lines, adjust those physical walls, and the measurements for the area and length, width, ceiling height, etc., will dynamically update. So this can be used in a variety of different ways, but from a interior design perspective, if a property was undergoing a renovation prior to those walls either moving or being taken out, you all as in your teams can help visualize the space and use this for spatial planning purposes. So in this case, we are mocking up what changes would happen to this space if this wall was moved out to the left, and the increase in size as well as width of this bathroom from making that change. And finally, as I mentioned off the top here, once you do make those changes, those will be reflected in the showcase player, as well as the downloadable data, such as this floor plan, in addition to a CSV that you can pull into Excel or any other platform like that. All right. So that's a high-level overview of our property intelligence beta that was released back in February. Now I want to move on to another beta that was released at the same time, which will complement that property intelligence solution, and I think could be highly valuable for folks within your industry. So another major release that we've come out with recently is what we're calling SDK plugins. Essentially, the purpose of these plugins is to allow our customers to leverage some of the functionality that's always been hidden within our software development kit. Although, a lot of our customers don't have the development capabilities to manually code these solutions in-house. So with the new plugin architecture, we're going to allow you to deploy these mini SDK apps directly within our showcase player without any development work involved. So there's more to come on this, but there are two plugins that I, in particular, wanted to call out for this group. Those are Compass, which I'm showing on my screen here, and then the business card plugin that I'll show next. So with the Compass plugin, as you can see, you can configure it by setting the north direction, with a manual input. So ideally, either by looking at Google Maps, or if you're already familiar with a property, you can set up that north degree, and then subsequently the compass will dynamically update for that end user depending on the direction they're facing. So the value of this could be, for example, if you wanted to illustrate to a customer or a partner or anyone of the sort that a particular property has a large quantity of southern facing windows, you can enable the compass plugin, set up the north direction, and subsequently during your virtual tours, illustrate that the property has the features that that relate to the direction of the apartment or house in which it's facing. Moving on to the next plugin that I wanted to cover today, which is the business card. So this is a great way to publish your information in regards to how a customer or a prospect may contact you directly within the digital twin itself. So as you can see in this example, this user added their phone number, email address, excuse me, as well as a headshot. So that will slide out, you can see as it's hovered over by the user, such that at any given point during the virtual tour, one of your potential prospects can quickly get your contact information. So this can be used again for prospecting, and in addition to leveraging your existing work, such that users can explore some of the work that you've already completed to date as a means of potentially getting more clients in the future. Rather than having to go elsewhere and hunt down some of this information, it will be presented to them directly on top of your renovated or redesigned property, and they'll reach out to you with that information that they've been given. So with that about wraps up the quick recap that I wanted to cover on the first iteration of property intelligence, as well as this new SDK plugin concept, both of which will be enhanced significantly over time, but those are the version 1s of both of those products. So moving on to our upcoming roadmap, all of this will be included in a fall release. So as of right now, it's scheduled for November, although that's subject to change based on our capacity for completing these projects. As I mentioned during my intro, this actually encompasses quite a lot of functionality. For today's purpose, I'm going to focus on Genesis, which is the version 2 of our property intelligence solution, where again, we're leveraging AI to automate and improve certain workflows that otherwise would be difficult to do or require a lot of development work. So that'll be my main focus today. But as I mentioned, I'd be happy to discuss with you all some of these other components at a later date. So the biggest update within the next version of property intelligence is what we're calling defurnish. So I apologize for only one of my videos working here, but as you can see on the left-hand side of my screen, this will allow you to remove all or certain objects within a space. So this is probably fairly self-explanatory in terms of the value that it will bring to your business. But as you're undergoing a redesign or renovation project, if you want to start by visualizing the space as if it were totally empty, you can use Matterport to accomplish that. So this is a very exciting development that a lot of our customers are eagerly awaiting, as you can probably see why, both in regards to, again, renovating or removing certain objects, even if it's as simple as decluttering a space. If it's not prepared to be staged properly, you can remove objects that you didn't want to be in the shot, which will lower the pressure of any capture job that you have in the future. You don't need to worry about, for example, a water bottle being on a table where it shouldn't be. So that's defurnish at a fundamental level there. Again, this is going to be an ongoing priority for Matterport moving forward. We are subsequently, this is going to be coming in November. Subsequently, we are also going to be working on refurnishing, otherwise known as virtual staging. So the first component of that is to obviously remove the existing furniture, but shortly thereafter in 2025, we're going to focus all of our attention on adding new pieces of furniture and design elements to those existing spaces. So more to come on that in the future, But as I mentioned before, this is going to be the next big development of our property intelligence solution. Another element that will be released in the fall is what we're calling the auto description. So again, leveraging the power of generative AI, we are going to be able to provide auto descriptions of a space. I'll try to pause it here, where we will be able to write a summary and description of a property without needing your manual input. So again, this kind of goes hand in hand with our priority of minimizing the amount of manual effort required to get the maximum amount of value from these digital twins by heavily investing in our generative AI capabilities behind the scenes. So with that said, although it was a quick update today, I hope that was helpful and helps you all understand where we are going from here. So this is really, again, symbolic of the next generation of Matterport. You know, we first focused on building dimensionally accurate and photorealistic digital twins. Now our primary focus this year and beyond is using AI to automate those workflows that were previously manual and allow you to derive even more insights than you could before from our digital twins to improve the services you can offer to your customers and help them visualize some of the capabilities of your design firms, hopefully better than you could ever before. So with that, I hope you all enjoy the session today. If you want to chat with me or want to do a deeper dive on any of these topics, and I'd be happy to. So have a good rest of your session today, and I hope I will speak to you all soon. Take care.
Great, thanks. I hope you all gained some knowledge and insights to Matterport's deliveries from Caldito. And now bringing up Mustafa to join us on the fireside chat with Mark. He will be sharing his expert insights on digital transformation in the AEC. Mustafa has a long line of experience in this sense, and he's joining us from Melbourne, Australia. Over to you, Mark and Mustafa.
All right, thank you, Christine and Mustafa. It's an honor to have you with us for today's webinar. So perhaps you could just do a quick introduction of yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm Mustafa Al-Ashmawi. I'm a consultant in the digital engineering. I work currently with Victorian Infrastructure Delivery Authority, but also I have a small consultancy related to digital engineering based in the US. I've worked in the digital engineering for all my career. That's around 12 years, sometimes in the production side, sometimes in the consultancy, and now client side. So nice to be with you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Mustafa. So so the thing is this, right? I came from like a technology background, and you are from this industry. So I thought that, you know, with both our knowledge combined, it's going to be really exciting if we could, you know, help some of our clients here. So perhaps, you know, I just want to pose a few questions to you, and I'll start off with like the very first questions. Could you share, you know, from your perspective on the current state of the digital transformation within the AEC industry? That's part one. And then how have this technology, like the digital twin solutions, reshaped the way projects are managed and executed?
Okay, so from my perspective, the AEC industry is currently in the middle of a digital transformation. This transformation is reshaping how projects are designed, managed, and executed. Traditionally, AEC projects have been impacted by inefficiencies, cost overruns, and delays, often due to a reliance on outdated processes and technologies. However, the advent of technologies like digital twin and other advanced technologies is driving a huge shift in the industry. So digital twins are essentially a virtual replica of a physical asset, or sometimes a process or a system, with a direct link with the physical asset. Sometimes it's two ways, or in some cases it's in one way. So these digital twins enable real-time monitoring and management of the projects. Sometimes when we speak about digital twins, our minds goes directly to the operation and maintenance, but actually digital twins has a huge potential for construction industry, because it provide lots of insights and control to the construction process. If, for example, we integrated data from various sources like sensors, IoT devices, linking this with available BIM models or reality captures from a software like Matterport, this will add a lot to the way we manage our projects. And one more thing that such a digital twin being available during this process is that it enable better collaboration and better transparency of the information. So it facilitates the communications between all the stakeholders.
Yeah. Thank you, Mustafa, for sharing all these very insightful informations, right? So the other thing is that, again, having a lot of conversation with our client, one of the things is like, the questions is around what are some of the most significant challenges within the AEC industry today, right? And probably you can help us understand, like, how digital tools like Matterport help address some of these challenges in the industry.
Yeah, I think there are lots of challenges nowadays facing AEC firms, and these challenges always jeopardize the project success, and this can be seen easily when you think about cost overruns and schedule delays, also to the communication breakdowns and data management issues. These challenges are magnified by the increasing complexity of projects. So usually current projects involves multiple stakeholders, innovative designs, and also tight deadlines. So these digital tools can help in facilitating the resolution of these challenges. One of the most significant challenges that I would think of is maintaining effective communication and collaboration among stakeholders. Having worked in the Middle East and currently in Australia, most of the projects that I've involved in usually included overseas stakeholders, and usually having projects that involve architects, engineers, contractors, and owners located in different geographic locations make it an obstacle for communication and cause lots of misunderstanding, errors, and this is always impacting the decision-making process. One more major challenge is availability of accurate and efficient capturing of the accurate information of the as-built conditions. Traditional methods of site documentation, such as the measurements on site and 2D drawings, often time-consuming and have lots of errors. So it gives lots of uncertainty for the data that we have. So having these digital models and digital methods of capturing the reality and capturing the construction progress and then the as-built process using tools like Matterport resolve these kind of challenges. So I think this advancements in technology is helping in facing these kind of challenges.
Yeah, thank you, Mustafa. And earlier on, I talked about some of the AEC workflow, and I mentioned about the integration with Autodesk, cloud construction, and the ability to execute scan to BIM. how do you see the integration of digital twin technology with existing BIMs and project management software? How is it going to help improve efficiency and collaboration within the industry?
Yeah, so actually, I think we are lucky nowadays that BIM is becoming a norm, and the resistance against BIM is reducing. So BIM is currently a powerful tool that's used in most of projects, enabling creation of detailed 3D models, facilitating collaboration, and many other BIM uses. So using these BIM models is great, but still it's somehow static. It represents a snapshot of the certain moment. Having this feed from the construction site in the form of a digital capture, or even by feeding the BIM model using sensors or IoT or any other resources, cameras, for example, provide more accurate and up-to-date representation of the project through its life cycle. So this is one of the key benefits of having BIM integrated with other sources of information. It facilitates project management, and imagine that we have features like what you presented in your presentation inside a project management platform, enabling all the team members, even non-BIM experts, to see and interact with project elements, add issues, and so on. This make the collaboration much easier, enable decision makers to take informed decisions all the time.
Yep. Great. So perhaps, I just want to wrap up with one last question to you, Mustafa. Talking about future trends, right? So what are your thoughts around, emerging trends that you foresee in the industry, and, how some of these companies prepare to leverage on this new technology, like, for example, AI, machine learning into their workflow?
Yeah, I think the AEC industry has great potential to use these kind of technologies, specifically AI and machine learning. I think we are one of the industries that have lots of data captured through the process. Yes, most of them are not used, as you presented earlier, but we have a base that can be built upon. One of the most significant trends is using AI and machine learning for predictive analytics, for example. So it provides the ability to predict potential issues before they arise. For example, using algorithms that can analyze a huge amount of data that's stored in our models to analyze and detect potential risks, for example, safety hazards and others. Also, AI and machine learning can be used and are being used for design optimization. Maybe I saw many solutions. Maybe it's still at an early stage of development, but they have great potential to be progressing quickly in the upcoming years, where AI and machine learning can help in optimizing the design to be more sustainable, more cost effective, also to comply with the standards. Yes, there is some challenge that would face that through the lack of standardization of the data that we have, but this is something also that's being tackled from various stakeholders by creating information management standards, and also enabling and using AI tools to enforce these standards into modeling processes and capturing data processes.
Yep. Thank you, Mustafa. And I guess, AI is the future in a way. It's like one of the hottest topic, and I think I'm very grateful the fact that if you look at the whole Matterport solutions, right, it is built on the AI context engine. So what I could see is that it's going to get better and better, and also with the ability to unlock Gen AI type of features into this whole Matterport solutions. I think, it's going to benefit the industry a lot more in the near future. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. All right. So thank you, Mustafa, for your time. And Christine, I'll hand over the rest of the time to you.
Thank you so much, Mustafa and Mark. Okay, we are at the close of our webinar today. Would anyone have any questions for either Mustafa or Mark before we end the webinar? Otherwise, we will definitely follow up with a courtesy email. In the meantime, before you leave, I would very much appreciate it if you could help me with answering these poll questions. So those who are here today, can you please help me to answer these poll questions? Thank you, everyone, for helping us with the poll questions. The Matterport team will definitely be in touch with you if you requested for a demo or a trial, or you want sales to be in touch with you. We will be sending I think Anu has a question. Hold on, we have some questions. Anu has a question. In mission critical projects, there would be tremendous scopes in the future. Okay, that's not a question. I think it was just a statement. But Angelo asked, can Matterport be applied to industrial buildings and plant? Mark?
Very, very good question from Angelo. The short answer is yes. We do have a lot of clients that are already using Matterport for manufacturing within the discrete and as well as the process manufacturing plant. So even pump rooms, etc. So we are seeing that very often today.
I hope that answered a question. Anyone else? Okay, if there's no one else, thank you so much, Mark and Mustafa, for your time. We will now conclude the webinar, and as I mentioned, we will be sending out a thank you letter email with how you can reach out to the Matterport team after the webinar. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.